Hey, welcome to Fruit for Your Life. I am Ed Logan. I want to tell you about an experience that I had about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm just now waiting to tell you all I had an illness, and I'm going to let you know what that was. Be right back. So this is what happened to me. You know, when you become a fruitarian or someone who eats raw fruits and raw vegetables, which I do, 80% of the time I'm eating fruit, 20% I'm eating vegetables, produce. So when you do that and you realize your health is just like on cloud 9, it's like a skyrocket, like you know you're doing good and you're feeling good all the time. You know, sometimes you can fool yourself and think that you're invincible. So for example, like with my family, when my children get sick, I'll be like, okay, y'all all gonna wind up getting sick. And sure enough, all of them wind up getting sick, coughing, sniffles, so forth, and I don't get it. And you know, they'll put themselves in another situation again and they wind up getting sick. And I say, hey, I'm not going to get sick, and I don't wind up getting sick. Now, normally I wind up getting sick with them, but this time, since I have been doing this, I have not been sick. I have not had any ailments. So with the practice of that, sometimes we can get in our minds that we won't get sick. We won't get an illness. I'm here to tell you that that is not true. That is a lie. You can get sick. Now, before I tell you the story, if you do eat this way, the likelihood of you getting sick is very slim. I will say that. The likelihood of you getting sick is very slim. Why? Because your body is doing what it's supposed to do. Your body has soldiers in it that are in top shape and they are fighting. They are ready for a war to come. Well, my body actually got that chance for a war to come. So you all remember last month, I actually went to Florida and stayed for a whole week. Okay, so while I was in Florida, I parked my truck up under the tree in my driveway. Okay, so I don't know how these bugs or these insects got into my truck. So I'm gonna explain to you what took place. So while my truck is sitting there for a whole week, not being open, all the doors are locked, windows are shut, you know, I don't understand how it happens, but somehow, apparently I got some bugs in my truck. So when I got home, of course I got ready to go to work. So that Monday morning I got up, got in my truck, loaded up the food in my truck, and I set off. Well, during the day, I noticed that there were ants and there were bugs that had gotten into my truck, and I saw them going across the ledge. And they were I don't know if they were trying to get to my watermelon and my oranges and the fruit that I had up there, but they were actually up there. And so I'm killing these things all day. So ants are, they're crawling on my windshield, and I'm like, man, how did these bugs get in here? But when you have small pests like that, I guess they can find any place to get into, especially a big truck. So that night I shut down and I went to bed. Well, I woke up the next morning and my shin was like really hot. And I was like, man, what's going on with my shin? So I'm rubbing it and trying to figure out what's going on. So all through the day, my shin in the front left side of my right shin really was irritating me. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I was scratching and itching and in some ways a little painful. So that night when I went to bed, I said I'm gonna be okay because I eat fruits and vegetables, so it's not gonna bother me. It's gonna clear up. Well, when I woke up the next morning, it was like a deep maroon. My skin was maroon, and I was like, okay, something's not right. And I had no idea what was going on. So I started drinking, eating more fruit, just to make sure that everything was okay. So it got worse, progressively worse as the day went. So then I called my wife and I said, hey, sweetie, I said, I got something going on with my leg and I'm not sure what it is. And so I sent her a picture of it and she was like looking at it. She's like, that looks bad. I said, yeah, it is. I said, matter of fact, it's irritating me and it's getting on my nerves. And she says, well, let's go over your symptoms. So I say, sweetie, okay, it's swollen now. It's red. It doesn't really hurt, but I'm scratching. So she looks at the symptoms and looks at what I got going on. And she says, honey, I think it's possible your symptoms sounds like a clot. And of course, red flags, sirens, bells, whistles goes off. And I'm like, what? Get out of here. No way. As good and as healthy as I eat, there is no way that my body just develops a blood clot. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So the next day, so right after she told me that, I started eating watermelon, more watermelon, because I know that would really, really hydrate me. And I was hoping that my blood wouldn't be clotting up because I was thinking that that's what it was. So of course I'm trying to hydrate myself more, trying to make sure that my blood is thinning. Okay. So the next day I go to the doctor. I had to tell my dispatcher what was going on. They started getting nervous and freaking out and saying, oh no, you need to go now. Everybody's getting ecstatic and I'm kind of like, this can't be happening to me. I'm a fruitarian. This can't be happening to me. I eat only raw whole food. Maybe about 3% I may eat some cooked, but this can't be happening to me. So anyway, I go to the doctor's office. I go to urgent care and they check me in and I said, it's possible, that my wife and I were going over the symptoms that I may have some kind of deep vein clot going on in my leg. So they take me to the back and the doctor looks at me and she's rubbing my shin. She's going up and down it. And she says, I feel some warmth. She says, I also feel some little bumps. She says, have you been itching? I was like, yeah, I've been itching. And after about 2 minutes, she says, I'm going to tell you right now that you do not have a blood clot. And I was like, how do you know that? She says, well, in the area in which the clot forms, it normally bulges. She says, and you don't have any bulges. She says, you do have warm skin. You do have some irritation. I do feel a couple of bumps. She says, but that's not what you have. And I was like, okay, so what is it that I have? She says, I believe you have cellulitis. And I was like, cellulitis? What in the world is cellulitis? She says, have you been bitten by anything? And I was like, no, I haven't been bitten by anything. She says, you sure you haven't been bitten by a spider, some kind of insect? I was like, not that I'm aware of. And then it hit me. Bing. I did have bugs in my truck. And while I was asleep, it did. And as a matter of fact, I had another little bump that showed up on my elbow and there was redness. And I was like, okay, maybe that's what it was. So cellulitis, we got to looking that up, and cellulitis can cause a blood infection. It can also cause bone infection. And you all know what sepsis is. It causes that. It can cause your heart to enlarge. It can cause the sheath to swell and to become damaged that goes along your spine. It can cause brain, there's a lot of things. And I was like, what in the world is this that is taking place? Cellulitis? I mean, I've never had that in my life. And why would I have it now? Really, it hit me. It was the insects that was in my truck that I had been killing. So apparently I had gotten bitten, and that's where the bump, one or two of the bumps she felt had come from. And there was one big one, and she believed that I had gotten bitten by something. So why do I say that? Why am I telling you all this story? Because just because you're a fruitarian does not mean you're invincible. Okay? It's crazy to think that you're never going to get sick. It's possible that you may go long periods of time and not getting any illness. And it's possible that you can go for the rest of your life, possibly, and not have an illness. But when something from the outside affects you, you can get an illness. When something that's outside of your body affects you, you can still be affected by that, even though you eat perfectly, or you try to eat perfectly, and you do what is very healthy for your body. So I'm telling you this to tell you, don't take chances with your body. If something is going on with your body, don't say to yourself, oh, it'll heal itself because I got good health. I've got perfect health. No, go get yourself checked out. If it's something that you feel could be very serious, go check it out. It doesn't make any sense to be prideful and you have something so serious happening in your body and you catch it too late. So let me be your example. Don't be prideful. Don't be arrogant. Just go get yourself checked out. It is quite possible that yes, something from the outside has affected your body. It's not something inside that triggered and created and affected your body. Things from the outside can affect you. So please don't be irrational. Go get yourself checked out and make sure that everything is okay. And I hope you learned a productive lesson from me. All right. Hey, if you like the content that I put out, hey, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you like what you're hearing, give me a thumbs up. It really does help my channel. And I appreciate you all so much for everything that you all do. I really do appreciate it. Hey, you all take care and I'll see you on the next video. All right. Bye-bye.